If you stepped outside today, you were probably greeted by the sound of a passing plow or perhaps the humming of snowblowers clearing driveways and sidewalks.
Well, the roads have been a mess all day long. It seemed anybody without four-wheel drive was looking for a quick push along the streets of Portland. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 13 at 6. I'm Jeff Peterson.
I'm Adrienne Stein. Kim and Greg are off tonight. The change over to rain never actually came in Portland, which meant higher snow totals and more digging out.
Yeah, that's right. The snow is starting to pull out now. And for more on what we can expect going forward, we send it over to Chief Meteorologist Charlie Lepresky. And Charlie, this was a big one.
It really was. Many areas picking up between 6 to 12 inches of snow, Jeff. And it looks like we will continue to see some on and off light snow over the next several hours before it starts to move out. In fact, around midnight, we'll start to see some improvement. In fact, by tomorrow morning, we'll see some sunshine returning. I want to jump into the forecast here. Of course, that coastal front that was playing games with coastal York County and also down to seacoast New Hampshire that never really made its way too far inland. I had many reports of some sleet, even a few raindrops mixing in at times at the immediate coast. But for the most part, this one was primarily snow and continues to be primarily snow. If anything, the temperatures continue to cool, so we're tracking more light snow, particularly across central portions of Maine back through the hills and mountains. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for the entire area through about 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I want to show you the projected snowfall totals. Many areas already coming in with about 10, 12 inches of snow over southern Cumberland County, also portions of York County. So there is a little bit of a bullseye there south of Sebago Lake of about 10 to maybe as much as 13 inches of snow there. As you head north of that, Lewiston and Augusta, you're not getting as much as originally anticipated, so probably around 8 or maybe 9 inches higher amounts in the mountains. The other big story right now is the wind. For more on what's happening with the wind outside, and I want to send it out to meteorologist Tom Chisholm. And Tom, based on the radar, it looks like we're in a little bit of a break right now. How's it looking?
Oh, absolutely. The visibility in the greater Portland area is up a lot, and that's showing some signs of improvement here locally. The wind is a different matter. It's pretty strong, gusting over 30 miles per hour. We're a couple of about 100 feet above sea level here on Munjoy Hill, and the wind is coming right down the coast, parallel to the coastline. So at the time of high tide, we're not so much concerned about any coastal flooding in a meaningful way. And when the sun comes back to us tomorrow, you can just imagine how beautiful that fresh snow cover is going to be, contrasting the blue Atlantic. Really a beautiful aesthetic picture to look forward to across northern New England as we enter the depths of wintertime that is much different starting this year as it was compared to last year at this time, with this nice fresh snow cover on the ground. Road conditions beginning to improve, as you can see, and the wind has been gusting as high as 40 miles per hour down east along the mid-coast. That's going to persist, but again, the direction of the wind is also very important. There's also some compression of the snow cover going on right now, so the actual water equivalent in this snow is actually quite high, and with the kind of cold temperatures that Charlie's going to tell you about in the 7-day forecast, this pristine snow cover is going to stay around. That is great for cross-country skiing and sledding, and particularly in ski country, which struggled last year. This is truly a bonanza. As I look behind me, as we come back live, you can see the traffic is moving along at a responsible pace, and all the municipal workers have done a great job in getting our roads back to normal. It looks like a decent morning commute coming up. Back to the studio.
All right, Tom, thanks for the update from there.
Well, a blustery scene in Portland and inland towns, and cities are reporting even more snow.
News 13's Marissa Bodner is live in Lewiston, where it is still snowing tonight. Marissa, what are the conditions like in Lewiston right now?
You know, right now, like you said, still snowing, but it's a very, very light snow. It's really not that bad. The biggest thing we've noticed up here in Lewiston and central Maine area is the wind and the temperatures. It's definitely a little colder than down in Portland. About 7 inches of snow on the ground. You can see it's pretty light and fluffy, not too heavy and wet. So power outages, not too big of a problem. Road conditions, as Tom said, definitely improving. And that said, city offices in Lewiston were closed today. However, Main Street businesses, you can check out the open signs still on here for many. It's been business as usual. Lewiston Public Works crews have been out in force since 3 a.m., starting with Sanders. By 7 a.m., all plows, I'm told, were out on the roadways. Operations manager John Eli says this storm has been a little bit of a letdown. He says he was expecting 15 to 16 inches of snow. A parking ban has been in effect since midnight and will continue until 6 a.m. Police tell me not too many major accidents out there, just some minor ones, some slide-offs. They say the biggest headache has been dealing with those who aren't following that parking ban.
The public has been very good this storm, about staying off the road as much as possible. And what we expected to have some problems in the downtown area because businesses were open. But now that they're closing up, we're going to be keeping an eye out on the parking ban, and we want to widen all the downtown streets overnight and do it as efficiently as possible.
If you don't follow that parking ban here in Lewiston, it does come with a $30 fine as well as paying for towing expenses. You have to go down to the police station to deal with all of that. Again, this snow expected to last until around midnight, but it's not coming down too hard. The roads aren't too bad if you have to go out. But at this point, my advice would be just to hunker down and stay inside. Live in Lewiston tonight, I'm Marissa Bodner for News 13. Back to you.
Sounds like good advice. Marissa, thanks for the update there.
Well, nationwide, how about this? More than 2,500 flights have been canceled or delayed because of the storm, and this includes flights from Maine.
Our Catherine Underwood joins us now live from the Portland Jetport. Catherine, are there any flights getting out of the Jetport tonight?
The good news here is that the later it gets, the more delays we're seeing instead of all of those cancellations. So it does appear that there will be flights getting out of here this evening. But I'll tell you, the backup and that ripple effect is causing a lot of stress for travelers over here. People like the Lewis family who we met earlier tonight, they were supposed to start their family vacation in Orlando today. Instead, they were stuck in the Jetport since 5 this morning just trying to catch a flight out. They say their flight was canceled because of an electrical failure, but now trying to catch a different flight is next to impossible during a storm like this. Now, most people at the Jetport had a similar story, and while we did hear some outbursts of frustration from some travelers, the folks we spoke with are definitely trying to keep their cool.
The people, everybody is nice. Like I sat with this little lady that was here before, and she was on the same flight as me, and we just talked about it, and it's Mother Nature. You can't do a thing about it, so there you go.
There is a glimmer of hope, absolutely. You've got to hold on to something, and that's what we're trying to hold on and keep smiling and understanding there's things that are out of our control.
Now, that glimmer of hope is the possibility of getting out of here early tomorrow morning. And as of right now, according to the flight board, all of the flights tomorrow are on time. But if you've ever traveled before, you know how it goes. That could change at any point. So to make it easy to track your flight, you can just go to our website, WGME.com, and click on Hot Topics at the top of your page. We're in Portland tonight. Catherine Underwood, News 13. Back to you.
Yeah, don't forget to pack your patience. All right, Catherine, thanks so much.
Yeah, what a headache for a lot of folks out there. Well, the snowstorm kept many people indoors and out of the office today, but for others, the job never stops, even in severe weather.
News 13's Brooke Buford caught up with workers who are braving the weather to head to work.
It's been fun. I work at Bruns Brothers just down the road a little ways, and if you leave plenty of time to stop, I haven't had any trouble yet.
Not bad. Typical Maine. Finally coming.
Bonnie Berry and John Patrizzo had a snowy commute to work Thursday morning.
We'll probably close early, but yeah, that's what they're saying, and it's going to get worse.
They're hitting the road to head to their jobs, braving the snowstorm to punch the clock. They're not alone. Rescue workers around the state, like the firefighters at the Wyndham Public Safety Building, are reporting for duty too.
We have anywhere from 4 or 5 runs, so we may not go out at all. It depends on the amount of snow and ice and people's driving habits will dictate generally how busy we are.
The crew has been working since the early hours of the morning, ready to help in case of fire or if the snow makes the road too slick for cars.
We've had a few people slide off the road this morning. All in all, it's been kind of a slower day. People have taken the hints from the weather forecasters to stay inside and off the roads.
For them, it's a call of duty because in this line of work, not everyone gets a snow day. In Wyndham, Brooke Buford, News 13.
And while some are stuck working out in the snow, others could not be more thrilled with the huge amounts of snow on the ground tonight.
That's right, having some fun. Our Brad Rogers joins us now with that part of the story.
When it comes to a foot of snow on the ground, Mainers have a love-hate relationship. Some love to get right out in the snow and just soak it all in.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get 15 inches or so it looks good. Finally, right? We've been waiting for it.
Yeah, but it's no fun spinning your tires stuck. At least not till someone comes along to give you a push. Zach Black started plowing at 2 in the morning and says he'll probably be out most of the night. He and others out plowing may hate the long hours, but sure love the payday. how many driveways are you going to be doing today?
I have 20 properties.
20, huh?
Yep.
But then you go back and forth, I guess, right?
Yeah, just round and round and round.
Now, the snowmobilers are the ones who really love all this snow. They've been waiting a long time to hit the trails. As far as shoveling your driveway, that's fun for a while, but also exhausting. Skiing the hills of the Eastern Promenade, also exhausting, but much more fun.
I went around, and then I went up and down a couple times. The kids on sleds had to watch out for me.
Speaking of sleds, that may be the most fun of all. So how is it?
Oh, it's fun. We were hoping to get out before the rain. It looks like it's not going to rain.
So, have fun, Mainers. Nothing like a good snowstorm to bring out the kid in all of us. I saw you wipe out down there.
I did. It's okay. It's really fun. We got all the kids out, and it's just great.
In Portland, Brad Rogers, News 13.
Welcome back, everyone. Today's storm system is slowly moving out. We're still dealing with some on and off light snow for many areas, but especially for coastal Cumberland County and York County, we're seeing that snow taper off to snow showers. Marked improvement is expected tomorrow. Let's take a look at tonight's Doppler HD and satellite radar to start us out. Of course, our storm continues to spin to our south. You can see that counterclockwise rotation situated just north of Cape Cod. Winds stayed north-northeast today, so that kept the cold air in place. Of course, some towns, they flirted with a little bit of rain and sleet. Coastal York County, this was real neat to watch during the morning hours today. I just got a call from Randy in York. He has 2 inches of snow on the ground in York. Compare that to South Berwick, where they're reporting 10, 12 inches of snow in a few spots in York County there. So a wide range in a very short distance there. We're still seeing a few pockets, or we were seeing some pockets of sleet along the mid-coast, but colder air has been filtering in, and it is primarily snow. Notice how it's diminishing in coverage as far as the moderate snow bands go. Heading across the mid-coast, we're still dealing with some light bands of snow heading from Rockland all the way down through Bath and Brunswick. Augusta, you could pick up a few more inches of snow out of this one, back through Augusta, Waterville, heading into Lewiston as well. So far, only about 6 or 7 inches of snow on the ground in this corridor right here. Back through the hills and mountains, several more inches of snow are expected there. We may pick up another inch or so here from Cumberland County, west side of Sebago Lake, all the way down to northern York County as well. So we're starting to see the snow diminish in coverage. The other big story is the wind. How about the wind right now, gusting to 40 miles per hour in Rockland? Winds have been north-northeast all day long. So again, that's been holding in the cold temps. 32 for a wind gust right now, 32 miles per hour, I should say, here in Portland. Take a little tour around the region here in Portland. About 8.5 inches of snow on the ground. Heading back to the National Weather Service in gray, about a half a foot. Lewiston's reporting 7. Brunswick, I get 2 reports from Brunswick. One from James, about 8.5. Another one from Marty's reporting about 7 inches there. So a little bit of a range due to significant blowing and drifting of the snow. Carroll has 8 there in Raymond. Mike in North Sebago on the west side of Sebago Lake, only about a half a foot of snow there. Compare that to York County. There's a little bubble of about 9, 10, 11 inches of snow here. A few spots near 12 inches. Scarborough has 12 inches of snow, in fact. 10 inches in Buxton, 10 in Saco. Kennebunk's coming in with close to 10 inches. Dick in South Berwick had just under 8 inches of snow there. I got another report from the Berwicks of 12 inches of snow. So again, it all depends on where you measure this snow. Westport Island, Chris has been going back and forth between some sleet and some snow. 6 inches there. Up in Augusta, Kathy has close to 7 inches. A little bit of a range in the mountains as well. And now these areas will pick up additional snowfall accumulations. Mike is reporting 7 in Farmington. Rich has about 8 there in Paris. Bethel about 7. Notice Chatham close to 7, half foot in North Conway. Look at Rangeley, 14 inches of snow. Chris calling in with that one right there, 14 inches and over. Paul is reporting about 9 inches, and they will pick up additional snowfall here. Therefore, I'm going to keep that area in the 10 to 15 range. I was a little surprised from Lewiston to Augusta how much snow is on the ground. I thought they'd be at least up over 8 inches at this point, but many areas around a half a foot. You'll pick up another inch or 2, so probably around 8 or 9. I'm going to keep this little zone here in 8 to 12. This was that little jackpot in York County, also southern Cumberland County, back to interior York County. Waterboro is reporting close to a foot of snow, 14 inches back into portions of Stratford County, so 10 to 15 for a little narrow band there in York County. So it's been an interesting day to say the least. While parts of coastal York County only had a few inches of snow out of this one, 2 inches in York. All right, where do we go from here? Well, tomorrow, late tonight, we're still dealing with a little bit of light snow, nothing of any real significance. The heavy bands are moving out. Tomorrow morning, you wake up to cloudy skies, but developing sun. For a change, should be a nice day. Temps make it back into the 30s. So any outdoor plans tomorrow, I think we're in pretty good shape. As we head into Saturday, things start to change again. Look at thickening clouds that day. I want to stop this at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice more light snow invades. There is a storm to our south, and I think this one just clips us. It's not going to be a big storm, but I can't rule out an inch or two of snow in spots for Saturday evening and Saturday night. Sunday looks okay as well. High temperatures that day should be back in the 20s. Notice the general range in temps here. 20s for highs, overnight lows slipping into the single digits some nights next week. In fact, there'll be areas near the big old goose egg by Wednesday morning inland for Wednesday and Thursday. So cold air is invading, and that's what happens when you get a snowpack on the ground. Light snow for the next several hours. I think it winds down around midnight tonight.
You know, it's funny, when I walked in here this afternoon, I was looking at the schedule going, wait a minute, a certain meteorologist wasn't even supposed to be in tonight.
Supposed to be off. We're so glad you came back to get us through this storm.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Tom and I are holding down the fort today, and yeah, we're having a lot of fun. You can't stay away in a snowstorm,
No way.
right?
Not one like this. This is the stuff you live for, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
This is like a sports guy coming back for the Super Bowl.
There you go.
Exactly. It's a snowstorm. Get it.